Chapter 1. No one's crazy. Money, Morgan Housel tells us, is the single most universal thing that impacts our lives in entirely unique ways. Think about that for a moment. Every single person you meet has a relationship with money, intimate, personal, and often irrational. But here's the kicker. Nobody's crazy. No one. Not even when they seem to be making decisions that defy logic. Take a deep breath, dear listener. Because today we're about to dismantle every judgment, every assumption, every misconception we've ever had about how others, yes, even you, interact with money. Let's start with a bold question. What shaped your view of money? Was it your childhood? Watching your parents argue about bills? Or maybe seeing them generously give away what they barely had? Perhaps your view was shaped in a classroom, where someone taught you the rules of compound interest. Or maybe it was in the wild volatility of the stock market. Morgan Housel makes an astounding point here. Your financial decisions are not based on the realities of the world. They're based on your personal history, your experiences. And guess what? That's the same for everyone. Consider this. If you grew up in the Great Depression, your view of risk and scarcity will be drastically different from someone who grew up in a booming economy. And here's the challenge. Your experience is not universal. It's just one small piece of an infinitely complex puzzle. Ask yourself, what am I assuming is true about money simply because it's true for me? The illusion of rationality. Economics loves the idea of rational decision-making. You've heard it before, right? The Homo economicus, the perfectly rational human who makes decisions purely based on logic and facts. But reality? It's messy. Imagine this scenario. Two people win the lottery. One invests in a diversified portfolio and lives modestly. The other spends extravagantly and ends up bankrupt. Who's right? Who's wrong? Housel argues, neither. Each is simply operating from their unique perspective of what money means to them. Now, I want you to stop and think. Have you ever judged someone for their financial decisions? Maybe a friend who quit a stable job to start a risky business. Or a family member who saves obsessively, but never seems to enjoy their wealth. What if you could see the world through their eyes? Would their actions still seem irrational? Money as a mirror. Here's a provocative idea. Money isn't just a tool. It's a mirror. Your spending, saving, and investing habits reflect your values, fears, and dreams. Think about it. When you choose to splurge on a luxury item, are you chasing status, comfort, or are you rebelling against a childhood where scarcity was the norm? Housel writes that understanding this mirror is crucial, and not just for understanding yourself, but for developing empathy for others. What would happen if instead of judging someone's financial behavior, you asked, what story is this person living? Pause for a moment. Reflect. What story are you living? Action through awareness. Let's shift gears. We've talked about perspective, empathy, and the deeply personal nature of money. But what do we do with this knowledge? Start here. Make a commitment to question your assumptions. The next time you find yourself thinking, I would never do that with money, take a step back. Instead, ask yourself, what do I believe about money that makes this decision seem wrong? Housel's brilliance lies in this. He doesn't just challenge you to understand your own financial behavior. He pushes you to reframe your entire relationship with money. So I'll ask you, are you brave enough to challenge your beliefs? Because the truth is, real growth begins when you stop asking, what's wrong with them? And start asking, what can I learn from them? The virus of perspective. Here's where we land, my friend. Nobody's crazy. Every financial decision is a reflection of a person's unique journey, shaped by their upbringing, culture, and experiences. The real magic happens when you embrace this truth, not just about others, but about yourself. I invite you to let this perspective take root in your mind. Let it infect every financial conversation, every judgment, every assumption you make. Let it grow until it transforms the way you see the world. Because here's the thing. The more you understand others, the better you understand yourself. And the better you understand yourself, the more power you have to create a financial life that truly aligns with your values. So, I'll leave you with this. The next time you find yourself questioning someone's financial choices, stop, take a breath, and remember, no one's crazy. This isn't just a chapter in a book. It's a call to action. Are you ready to answer it? Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Never underestimate the role of luck, nor the power of risk. These words from Morgan Housel may be the most humbling truth about money and life. Let's face it, we love stories about success. The self-made billionaire, the scrappy entrepreneur who turned nothing into everything, the genius investor who consistently beats the market. But what if I told you those stories are incomplete? What if I told you they ignore two invisible forces, luck and risk, that shape every outcome? Today, we're going to dive into this uncomfortable truth. Brace yourself, because by the end of this chapter, you won't just see money differently, you'll see life differently. The invisible hand of luck. Let's start with luck. We're conditioned to believe success comes down to skill, hard work, and determination. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Success is also a lottery. Take Bill Gates. Yes, he was brilliant. Yes, he worked incredibly hard. But do you know the statistical odds of him attending one of the only high schools in the world with a computer in 1968? What if he hadn't had access to that rare opportunity? Ask yourself, what hidden computers shaped my life? Maybe it was a mentor who believed in you, or being born in the right country, at the right time. The truth is, luck isn't just about winning the lottery. It's about the countless invisible factors that create your opportunities. But here's the twist. Recognizing the role of luck doesn't diminish your success. It makes you more grateful and more humble. The shadow of risk. Now let's flip the coin. If luck can elevate, risk can devastate. For every Bill Gates, there are countless others who had the same ambition, the same talent, the same drive, and failed. Not because they weren't good enough, but because risk didn't fall in their favor. Consider this. In 2008, millions of people lost their homes, jobs, and savings. Not because they made terrible decisions, but because of a global financial crisis they couldn't control. Ask yourself, how do I account for risk in my decisions? Do you leave room for the unexpected? Or do you gamble everything, assuming the dice will always roll in your favor? Here's the sobering truth. Risk isn't an anomaly. It's the default state of life. The sooner you embrace it, the better equipped you'll be to navigate it. The danger of attribution bias. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Humans are wired to look for patterns. When we succeed, we attribute it to our skill. When we fail, we blame bad luck. But Housel challenges us to flip this narrative. Imagine you're driving. You're careful. You follow the rules. But another driver runs a red light and hits you. Whose fault is it? Clearly theirs. But here's the catch. That accident wasn't just bad luck. It was a risk you took the moment you got in the car. When it comes to money, the same principle applies. Every decision carries both luck and risk. And here's the kicker. You can't always tell which is which. So ask yourself, am I taking too much credit for my successes and too little responsibility for my risks? The balance between luck and risk. The beauty of this chapter lies in its paradox. Luck and risk are two sides of the same coin, and you can't have one without the other. Think about it. The stock market rewards risk takers with incredible returns, but punishes them with brutal losses. Entrepreneurs risk failure to create groundbreaking innovations. Even relationships are a gamble, risking heartbreak for the chance at love. So, how do you navigate this paradox? Housel offers a simple yet profound solution. Focus less on the outcome and more on the process. Success is never guaranteed, no matter how skilled or prepared you are. But if you make decisions with humility, patience, and awareness of risk, you can weather the storms and enjoy the sunshine. Lessons in humility. Here's a question to ponder. What if your greatest achievement isn't entirely your own? What if your worst failure isn't entirely your fault? This isn't about diminishing your efforts. It's about seeing the bigger picture. When you acknowledge the role of luck and risk, you become more empathetic, more grateful, and, most importantly, more cautious. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you took a moment to reflect on the people, circumstances, and opportunities that shaped your life? Have you thanked them? Have you paid it forward? A call to action. So where do we go from here? How do we turn this knowledge into action? First, adopt humility. Recognize that success isn't solely your doing, and failure isn't always your fault. Second, prepare for risk. Build a financial buffer. Diversify your investments. And most importantly, leave room for the unexpected. Finally, practice gratitude. Acknowledge the luck that brought you here and use it to create opportunities for others. Morgan Housel's lesson is clear. Life is a game of probabilities, not certainties. Luck and risk will always play a role. Your job is to respect them, adapt to them, and make decisions that honor the process, not just the outcome. So I leave you with this challenge. As you navigate your financial journey, ask yourself not just, what did I do right, but also, what luck did I benefit from? What risks did I ignore? Because when you truly understand luck and risk, you unlock the ultimate financial superpower, wisdom. And wisdom, dear listener, is priceless. Chapter 3. Never enough. There is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. These words from Morgan Housel strike at the heart of a truth we often ignore. Many of us are trapped in an endless cycle of more. More money, more possessions, more achievements. But here's the paradox. The pursuit of more often leads to less. Less contentment. Less peace. Sometimes, less life. So today, we'll explore this insatiable human drive and ask the hard questions. What's enough? How do you define it? And how do you know when you've crossed the line? Prepare yourself, dear listener. This isn't just a chapter, it's a mirror. And by the end of this hour, you might see yourself differently. The danger of more. Let's begin with a haunting story. Imagine a man named Rajat Gupta. He rose from humble beginnings to become the CEO of McKinsey & Company, a man respected worldwide. He had wealth, power, and influence. Yet it wasn't enough. In pursuit of even more, Gupta engaged in insider trading and lost everything. His career, his reputation, his freedom. Why? Because somewhere along the way, Gupta forgot a simple truth. Enough is not about numbers. It's about knowing when to stop. Now think about your own life. When you set a financial goal, what happens once you achieve it? Do you pause to celebrate, or do you immediately move the goalpost? Housel argues that the inability to recognize enough is not just dangerous, it's destructive. And here's the real question. What are you willing to risk for more? The trap of comparison. Now let's talk about a silent thief. Comparison. Have you ever felt content with your accomplishments, only to see someone else achieve more? Suddenly your happiness evaporates. You feel small, inadequate. And so begins the chase for more. But here's the problem. Comparison is a game you can't win. Why? Because there's always someone richer, smarter, more successful. Even billionaires fall into this trap. Consider this. When asked how much money is enough, John D. Rockefeller allegedly replied, "Just a little bit more." Ask yourself, am I chasing more because I want it, or because someone else has it? Defining your enough. Here's where it gets personal. What is enough for you? Not society, not Instagram, not your neighbor. You. Housel offers a simple but profound truth. Enough is deeply personal. For some, It's financial freedom, a modest lifestyle without debt. For others, it's the ability to give generously or spend time with loved ones. But here's the catch. You can't define enough if you don't know what truly matters to you. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Picture your ideal life. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Now ask yourself, am I working toward that life, or am I stuck on a treadmill, chasing someone else's version of success? Section 4. The cost of never enough. Let's get real. The pursuit of more always comes with a cost. Maybe it's your health, sacrificed for long hours at work. Maybe it's relationships, neglected in the name of ambition. Or maybe it's your integrity, compromised for a quick win. And here's the most tragic cost. The pursuit of more robs you of peace, because no matter how much you achieve, it's never enough. Housel warns us, the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. So, ask yourself, what am I sacrificing for more? And is it worth it? The freedom of enough. Now here's the good news. Knowing you're enough isn't just liberating, it's empowering. When you embrace enough, you stop living for others. You stop chasing numbers. You start living with intention. Here's a simple exercise. Write down 3 things that truly matter to you. Not things you want to buy, but values you want to live by. Then ask yourself, are my financial decisions aligned with these values? Lessons from history. Housel shares a powerful example from history. Joseph Heller, the author of Catch-22. At a party hosted by a billionaire, someone asked Heller how it felt knowing the host made more money in a day than Heller's book earned in its entire lifetime. Heller replied, "I have something he will never have, enough." That, dear listener, is the ultimate flex. The knowledge that you have what you need, that you're content, that you're free. Conclusion, a call to reflection. So, where does this leave us? First, remember this. The pursuit of more is a trap. It promises happiness, but delivers restlessness. Second, define your enough. Write it down. Live by it. Protect it. Finally, resist comparison. Your journey is yours alone. Celebrate it. Morgan Housel's message is clear. Enough is not a number, it's a mindset. And once you embrace it, you unlock the greatest wealth of all, contentment. So here's your challenge. As you move through life, stop asking, how can I get more? Start asking, what do I already have? And is it enough? Because when you know you're enough, you stop chasing and start living.